Hello everyone, and welcome back to coverage of Grand Prix Hyderabad for the MSEM format. I'm Caillou, and today we're going to be watching the quarterfinals match between Joewell and Pipsqueak. So if you don't know what MSEM is, it's a custom card constructed format made up of over 60 custom sets. You can find out more in the description where I have a link to the Discord, which has links to previous tournaments, the bracket, and deck lists for both of these decks. So we've got Joewell, who is going to be playing mono red over here. It's a hybrid between prior big red lists and more burn focused lists, as you can see from our classic Lava Spike and Basalt Charm. And Pipsqueak is playing a similarly blisteringly fast list. They are on blue-red Phoenixes using the Bind Myoga Firebird over here and some other cards to kind of just turbo through their deck. However, kind of in a bind, they just dug 4 cards deep with Gift of the Phoenix and Creative Salvage, but did not hit a second land, which is pretty punishing, because that's going to give Joewell space to start whacking them. And the Cinderhoof Minotaur is particularly painful for a deck like Phoenix's that wants to cast a bunch of spells. Pip does hit the second land with the Heist Headquarters, is going to Unceasing Flames, killing the Cinderhoof Minotaur, and then, can Against the Waves and then free cast Piari? That's probably the move. How many instant sorceries? We got 4 instant sorceries in grave, which means that Zerat is down to 3 mana. So, oh no, Unquenched is going to cast Unquenched Greed instead. Oh, but it's because it doesn't matter the actual costs. It's what you spend on it. So Unquenched Greed actually works instead of Against the Waves. So Zerat is now down to 2 mana, and Plaxalotl is going to start doing some real damage here. And Joewell, unfortunately, this is the problem with playing like a hybrid burn deck, is that they're kind of out of threats. Like, I think right here what you do is they can't actually kill anything is the issue. Like, I think if you're Joewell, unironically, your best play might be spend 2 cards to kill Piari, you Basalt Charm for the -1, you Brazen Sacrilege to deal 2 damage, and then you can animate Firehearth Halls and have that as a threat. But Joewell isn't going to do that, and I think that's a mistake, because now, like, Piari is just so strong at being able to copy your spells, and just letting you, like, get double value there. Okay, and hitting a land, okay, it's going to enter tapped. So you actually, I was going to say that this gives Pipsqueak access to Piari plus Zerat this turn, and, okay, is going to Spirit Script plus Against the Waves. So milling Pipsqueak 8, trying to get some more Myoga Firebirds in there, draws into another Unceasing Flames. And we've got a problem with the Judge Call. Joewell misunderstood Pip targeting themselves with Against the Waves. So we're probably going to have to take a small break here for a Judge Call as we figure out what to do with Joel's milled cards. But, I mean, I think that Pip is off to the races right now. I'm hard pressed to think what Joewell can do here to come back from this, because honestly the answer is usually just kill Pip, but right now it's looking a little difficult to do that before Pip just kind of goes off and gets a bunch of value. So to explain kind of what's going on here, Unceasing Flames and Against the Waves are both part of a cycle of cards that conjure themselves into your library and then scale with the number of copies of themselves in graveyard. Against the Waves is obviously quite powerful, since you can target yourself and with subsequent copies and try to just turbo a bunch into your grave and then start pointing it at your opponent once the numbers are sufficiently large enough. And Piari obviously helps. It does have a specific condition that requires you to run a lot of like very specifically colored cards, but if you do, you get this extremely powerful threat that can free cast itself and also double up all your value from these cheap spells. And Zerat, of course, is the Murktide of this format, except, a little bit of Planeswalker, a little bit, and, not quite as backbreaking as Murktide depending on the board states, but can also do a lot of work. And Pip hits a second Heist Headquarters. I think that means you just Windmill Slam Zerat here. Yeah, and these pain lands are going to hurt. Pip's already taken 6 damage from her lands alone, but, I mean, when you're hitting Zerat being able to just come in, what is Joewell going to do? Even if Joewell gets a threat down, Zerat just -3s. Joewell doesn't have Joel can Basat Charm plus Brazen Sacrilege to kill Zerat, but then Plaxalotl Piari is still around, so and your opponent also has an illusion, and so is therefore going to be more effective at beating you down than you are them. It's just a dicey situation all around. I'm trying to think about like what top decks could even help here. I guess a Rapacious Rattler top deck could mean. I'm trying to think because like Rapacious, you do Rapacious Rattler plus Basat Charm maybe, and more burn is really not what you want to see, I guess. Again, I think that maybe the play is just Brazen plus Basat to kill Zerat, and then Rog's Frenzy next turn to be able to kill Piari. Is gonna Brazen sacking the Illusion token. The Illusion token, really? And then Rogar on Zerat. Wait, I just want to check something. And yeah, usually Brazen Sacrilege would pump up and make your burn spells do 1 more damage, but the Illusion token has the auto sack ability, which actually comes up because that counters the second part of Brazen Sacrilege. I think that was the wrong play, because now how are you? I think that was just emphatically the wrong play, because now you haven't actually gotten rid of any of Pip's threats. Pip is just going to make another one next turn. I think you have to at least kill Zerat or Piari with your sequence there. You just wasted 2 cards for nothing. So I'm really low on that play by Joewell, and I think it's going to come back to punish them. Unceasing Flames is going to hit for 6 damage here because of being copied by the Spirit Script trigger. So that's going to be a fat 12 damage to face. And with this, we're not quite at lethal next turn. Oh, no, we are lethal next turn, actually, because Pip is going to swing with the Piari. And I guess Joel has the option of Firehearth Hauling to block something next turn. That is kind of ugly. So I think we're seeing Pip just running away with this game 1. I'm going to run an Unquenched Greed for even more selection, just trying to draw into another, because another Unceasing Flames just kills here, right? So, and then Wheat from Chaff hits another Piari, but they're legendary, so you don't really want one. I guess you could. I think you could just discard the 2 lands, because on the assumption that your opponent kills Piari next turn, at least a second Piari is a threat. But yeah, I mean, I guess you could say that Pip is technically out of cards, but I mean, the board presence is more than enough. And yeah, Suitor of the Sea isn't going to cut it. Basat Charm, okay. Basat Charm will kill Zerat, and then you put a blocker in front. But this is going to, see, the problem is you can't trade with the Illusion since it has flying. And then Piari has, will be able to, you'll just be hit it. So I think if you're Pip here, you just crack the clue. And now I'm just thinking about like last turn. If Pip had just cast the spells main phase 1, that would have brought back Myoga Firebird, right? So would have had lethal this turn. I don't think it's going to matter. Okay, it's emphatically not going to matter. Top decks the Unceasing Flames, and that's going to be game 1 finished in quick and emphatic fashion. Looking at sideboard choices here, I don't love much of this. I think that you just bring in 3 Shikai's Readout, take out some of your top end, because I don't think it's going to matter. Like, I think it's just straight up trade 3 Oros for 3 Shikais, and that's about it. Because I don't think the game is going to be going to a point where you're actually going to be wanting to cast Oros, whereas you're not going to be, like, the games are going to be too fast for Oros, basically. And then Shikai's is just free Grave Hate, which is what you need in this matchup. I mean, it's not the only thing you need, but it is at least one thing you need. Meanwhile, Pip, I mean, I think that you could... Pip has Grave Hate of her own, not really useful in this matchup. Soul Pierce, like, I don't know if this is a matchup where you want to be trying to interact. Maybe, because I think that Soul Pierce is I don't know. These are just against decks where, like, Soul Pierce is great against stuff that's dropping, like, or threatening to drop, like, Hate Bears and stuff. I think that here you might bring in, like, some number of Fiery Erasure, and that's about it. Because the main thing is Suitor of the Seas and Banished Companions can threaten to outspeed you. You just want to have ways to kill them. If you have ways to kill them, you're feeling pretty good. I'm not sure what you take out, because I am not a Phoenix's pilot, and the deck seems pretty reliant on having a bunch of copies of all of your stuff. I could see cutting Spirit Scripts for Fiery Erasure. It's the only one of your enablers that's 2 mana. So, and is kind of something that you want to be discarding away anyways. So I think it might be 4 Spirit Script out, 4 Fire Erasure in. Okay, and getting into game 2, looking at opening hands, we do see that Spirit Script stayed in. So I was wrong about that. Meanwhile, Joel has, when we see that Joel also kept in Oros, so both of my side out predictions were wrong. We'll see if they sided anything in. Joel opened up with a turn 1 Suitor of the Sea and has a a pretty decent curve here if they can hit a land. And there is the land. I mean, just playing some burn into Ealte's on turn 3, pretty strong. And this is the main way to beat, like, I think the Phoenix's deck is really hard to interact with on a meaningful axis. But if you can just hit them for a bunch of damage, you're feeling pretty good. Pipsqueak is going to try and flash in Mina. I think if you're Joe, you kill this before Pip untaps. And the up is just going to Brazen Sacrilege kill Mina. Good on Joe to hold. Because I think if I had been Joe, I would have been tempted to Brazen Sacrilege to get in more damage with the Suitor. So I think that was a heads up thing to not do that. And we are seeing the downside of Pip's mana base being forced to run out these pain lands in exchange for fast mana. Did bring in the Soul Pierce. Ditches, isn't going to kill the Suitor. I guess is holding it back to try and recur a Myoga. Or I guess is just holding up Spell Pierce. Or holding up Soul Pierce. The Soul Pierce will miss this Ealtizan and will miss Oros. So it's going to be bad at the next 2 turns. I think that this is looking like Joel's game to lose right now. Just in such a commanding position. Is going to drop the AL, has Firehearth Halls as another source of reach, and Pip has just really stumbled in this game too. Okay, Pip top decks Creative Salvage, is going to discard the now useless Soul Pierce. And there is a third land, so can get back Myoga Firebird. So I think you probably just Unceasing Flames to clear the board here. Yeah, kill Suitor, next Unceasing Flames, you still have to point it at IL probably. Yeah, you point it at IL, do 3 damage to her. Myoga comes back. Spirit Script is engraved, so it can just kill it straight up. Okay. And gets the Myoga Firebird back. All of a sudden, Pip has somewhat stabilized. And Oros now, because Joe doesn't have any devotion, Oros won't be able to kill the Myoga Firebird. Oh, but Emissary of Antiquity sets it up real nice. Like, I think you just drop Emissary, swing for 3, free cast Scorch, either killing Myoga Firebird or putting pressure on face. Like, I think that you Emissary and then Scorch to just hit face. I think that's probably the best play. Turns any burn spell. Yeah, that Emissary top deck coming in clutch for Joe. And now this is lethal next turn if Pip doesn't have a way to remove Emissary or win this turn. Okay, Pip top decking Unceasing Flames of her own. So this is odd. No, Pip still loses because Joe can just play Firehearth Halls or animate Firehearth Halls next turn, and Pip has no way to deal with it. Okay, Pip is gonna against the waves herself. Mill 2, hitting now. I wonder what she's trying to hit. Oh, whoa! Oh my god, another copy of Unceasing Flames. Wait, is this lethal? Oh my god, wait, is this lethal? Oh my god, it's lethal! No way! Oh my god! You copy it with Spirit Script 5. No way! Oh my god! Oh my god! That's game! I was so sure Pip was out of it, but with some clutch play and timely draws, Pip claws back victory from the jaws of defeat, and moves on to semifinals. And honestly, congratulations to Joel. I think other than the misplay in game 1 with the burn, has played super clutch this entire tournament, and making top 8 in their first tournament is nothing to scoff at. So congratulations to Joel. Hoping to see them back next month and to see even higher heights from them. And meanwhile, we'll have to see if anyone can stop Pipsqueak on this Phoenix's deck, which so far has just been on a tear through the tournament. But until next time, this is going to be Caillou, signing off.